It is not because you chose the wrong profession. It is because that profession was designed for a world that no longer exists. I realized it when I did everything right. But life still refused. I used to believe that if I just learned a proper trade, worked hard, and stayed persistent, sooner or later, everything would be fine. No one told me that. There are periods in history where individual effort is not enough to overcome social structures. This video is not about one person. It is about a generation entering life at the exact moment the world is fracturing. People often talk about housing bubbles or stock bubbles, but no one warned me about the expectation bubble. Episode 1. I grew up in an era where everything was painted very neatly. Just follow the steps. Get a good education, choose a proper career, work hard, and then life would unfold on its own. No one called it a promise. It felt like a social default. Everyone believed it, so it didn't need to be said. When I entered life, everything was still there. Schools, corporations, offices, payrolls. But the feeling was different. There was no grand collapse. No sound of breaking. It was just that everything gradually grew lighter. Salaries didn't rise as they used to say. Promotion opportunities didn't disappear. But they stood very far away. I realized I was standing inside a bubble. But not a price bubble. It was a bubble of collective belief. The belief that the world would continue to operate as before. The problem is, the world changed direction a long time ago. It's just that no one bothered to redraw the map for those coming after. And so, an entire generation entered life with luggage packed for the past. I chose a safe profession. And then I discovered safety only applies to those who arrived early. Episode 2. The day I chose my career, everyone gave the same advice. Don't take risks. Don't try anything new. Just choose what has already been proven. I listened. And I believed. It wasn't because I was lazy to think, but because there were no other examples around me. The problem is, when too many people believe in the same path, that path is no longer wide. The industries still exist. The corporations are still hiring. But the value of labor began to be fragmented. No one cut your salary. They just didn't need to raise it anymore. No one fired you. You just stood still for too long. The trap of a safe career is not in the moment you enter, but in the moment you realize you cannot leave. You have invested too many years, too much effort, too much hope, and so you stay. Not because of satisfaction, but because you are afraid to start over in a world that has become harder than before. Not everyone lost their job. Many just lost their future, piece by piece. Episode 3. There were years when the papers didn't talk much about crisis. No mass bankruptcies. No markets crashing loudly. But those who worked felt it very clearly. Contracts grew shorter. Benefits grew thinner. Promotion opportunities were left hanging. No one announced cuts. Things were just postponed indefinitely. You couldn't protest. Because theoretically, you still had a job. But you couldn't be at peace either. Because you understood. If there was a shift, you would be the first to fall. This is a silent collapse. It doesn't make anyone panic. It just makes people weary. A generation still goes to work every day, but doesn't dare to make long-term plans. Doesn't dare to buy a house. Doesn't dare to think far ahead. It's not because they lack dreams. It's because the world around them has become too fragile. I don't live in a war. But my bills, prices, and loans do. Episode 4. When I was a child, I thought war was something on the nightly news. A story of far-off nations. Unrelated to a young person trying to work decently. Then I grew up. No bombs fell at my doorstep. But the price of everything rose very fast. Savings grew thin. And the sense of security vanished. I heard very big words. Local conflicts. Regional wars. Ballooning government debt. Adjusted interest rates. They were spoken in calm voices. But as they passed through life, They were not light at all. A war somewhere could break a supply chain. A massive debt package could devalue a currency. A decision to raise interest rates could make a business shrink in silence. No one asked young people for their opinion. But young people are the ones who suffer first. Businesses cut investment. Hiring slowed down. Salaries and bonuses stayed the same. You weren't fired. But you couldn't move forward either. I realized an uncomfortable truth. Our generation is working in a world where risk is pushed downward. Decisions are made at a very high level. But the consequences flow down into daily life. You see it when you go to the market. When you pay the rent. When you think about a long-term loan. No one told you that you had to carry it. But you are still carrying it. And so, many young people choose to live tentatively. Don't dare to expand. Don't dare to risk. Don't dare to dream too far. It's not because they're cowards. It's because the ground beneath their feet is no longer firm. There are days I think, maybe I really am just not good enough? Episode 5. It's not because I didn't try. It's because all around me, too many things refuse to budge. I look at those who came before. They bought houses early. They stabilized early. They passed milestones that I still stand far from. That distance makes it very easy for a young person to turn inward and question themselves. What am I lacking? Where did I go wrong? But then I realized, we are not walking the same path. We are only standing on the same piece of land. At two very different points in time. There are historical periods where working hard was enough. There are other periods where working hard only helps you, not to break. This generation does not lack effort. We lack a stable foundation. When interest rates are high. When housing prices far exceed income. When the job market shrinks. Then going slowly is no longer a choice. It is a consequence. Going slowly right now is not cowardice. Often, it is the only way not to slip and fall. I write these things not to offer comfort, nor to blame the circumstances. Only to say one sentence that young people very rarely get to hear. You are not lost. You are walking in a headwind. And in a headwind, simply maintaining your balance is already a skill. Tomorrow I will still go to work. Still try. But I stop judging myself by the yardstick of an old world. I don't know when things will get easier. I only know if I can still stand here. Then at least, I haven't been swept away. I still go to work. I still try. But I stop blaming myself. Because finally I understand. I am not lost. I am walking in the fog. If you are listening to this and see yourself in it, then perhaps you are as tired as I once was. Not tired from being lazy, but tired from trying in a world that doesn't tell the truth. If you ever thought, maybe it's only me who is slow, maybe it's only me who is not good enough, then this video is not to make you stronger. It is only so you know you are not alone. If this touches you, please leave a sign. Not for me, but for those who are silent just like you. And if you still want to hear more, not advice, just the truth, then stay.